Floridians know the cost of hurricane destruction. Last season, we got lucky. But luck doesn't protect your home. Fortunately, Storm Smart has dependable custom hurricane protection products. Hurricane screens, accordion shutters, aluminum roll-down shutters, flood mitigation systems. Because protected beats lucky every time. Be safe, be smart, be Storm Smart.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home.
Hey down, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live on the 22nd anniversary of Hurricane Charley. And if anybody, and we're going to talk a good bit about Charley and about the tropics, and we've got a lot going on in the show tonight. It is jam-packed as always. We got our friends from Creative Loafing that are going to be on coming up in a few minutes to talk about the Best of the Bay competition, which runs through the end of the month. And we'll talk about the big VIP party, the big party when they have the awards that are released, coming up in early October, I believe. So, and a different venue this year from previous years. Again, we'll get into that coming up in a few minutes. But here's what we're going to do. This is rare for me because you know me. I have a tendency just to start talking and we go in another direction. But we have so many things that we want to get to. Let's go ahead and jump into the weather. I know it's rare to do it, but we're going to do it. And we start right off with, that is not current, by the way. Had a couple of people see this on social earlier, like, what? We have a Cat 4 coming? No, 22 years ago, we had a Cat 4 coming, and this is the actual track of Charley. And we'll talk about this coming up in a couple of minutes, but I think y'all remember, if you lived in this area, that track was pretty much right on top of us 6 hours before landfall. And literally, thousands of people evacuated Pinellas, coastal Manatee, and ended up going to Orlando. And look where this track ended up, right on top of Orlando. So while we got pretty much nothing in our area, Orlando had 130-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and they lost power in a lot of spots. So we'll recap that coming up in a couple of minutes. But I do want to talk about what's happening locally. There are couple of showers right now going on in Polk County. Otherwise, it's all about the heat. I mean, look, we had a heat advisory issued today, and it was kind of interesting the way it played out because if you were noticing earlier on this morning, we were not in a heat advisory, right? And all the other counties outside of our viewing area were. So I'm thinking about 7:45 this morning, the Mets over at the Weather Service in Ruskin, like, guys, everybody else is in a heat advisory and we're not. What do you think? Well, I don't know. So they changed it. They're like, yeah, all right. So we ended up having a heat advisory issued at 7:45, and that covered the entire area till 7 o'clock. Here's the bottom line. I don't care if we have a heat advisory or not tomorrow because, y'all, can you really tell me the difference between a 103 heat index or a 105 heat index? I say no. If you can, you are truly spectacular. But the reality of it is heat advisories aren't issued until we hit a heat feels like temperature of 105, right? So if we're at 103, we're technically not under a heat advisory, but come on, it's about the same. So whether or not you wake up to a heat advisory tomorrow, whether or not Greg is on saying, hey, we don't have a heat advisory, or hey, we have a heat advisory, it's still going to be stinking hot. And the feels like temperature is going to be 104, 105, and it's summer. Look, it's August. We get this in the summer, right? No matter what other variables are going on, whether we have El Nino, whatever you want to talk about, it's August and we are going to be super hot, and we are. The difference is we're not seeing as much rain out there the last few days as we had about 2 weeks ago, and that's a bad thing. We still need it. Feels like temperatures right now, upper 90s to around 100. Tomorrow I would expect this to be about the same, 103 to 105. I mean, look, today we hit 92. The average is 91. We weren't that far from average. 95 in Plant City and Lakeland, 97 in Winter Haven, 91 in Sarasota, 90 in Venice. Outside right now. By the way, how many of y'all had a chance to go out and check out the meteor shower last night? A lot of folks commented. I was up 2, 3 a.m. talking with a lot of folks on socials, and there were more complaints about the mosquitoes than there were lack of visible meteors, and I get that because mosquitoes are just ridiculous this time of the year. 89 right now at the airport, west winds at 9 miles an hour. The high today hit 92, 91's average. The morning low dropped down to 81. The average is 77. So there's the satellite, not a lot going on. A few showers in Polk County. They're all moving from north to south. If you live west of I-75, you got nothing tonight. Tomorrow will be our best chance of some showers and thunderstorms, but it won't be in the morning. The morning will be dry, right back in the upper 70s. Lunchtime through the afternoon, dry. Once we hit about 4 o'clock, easterly winds start to set up, and we actually have our best chance of some rain between 4 and 8 o'clock. In other words, summer. In other words, August. I mean, you look back at history, August is traditionally our rainiest month of the year. So far, not so much. Tomorrow we got a better chance, and maybe even into Saturday as well, but I'll tell you, the drier air is going to be coming in. And a lot of folks have asked me about that. They're like, hey, Dennis, what the heck are you talking about drier air? The humidity is ridiculous. Two different things. Down where we are, the humidity is still high. The dew points are high, right? We've got our Florida summer. But up top where the clouds try to form, the air is drying out, at least temporarily. So drier air aloft or up top means less rain. Makes a lot of sense. So we can still be stinking hot and really humid down where we are, but yet up where the clouds try to develop, it's drier, and that's why the rain chances have been lower, and the rain coverage has been lower. And even on Saturday, which is a sad day in the Phillips household, because child number 5 of 6 going to Gainesville. We've got another gator. That will be 3 gators, 1 bull, 2 bulls, 1 knoll. I'm a Nittany Lion. And Ryan, our daughter Ryan, she still says she wants to go to UCF. So we might, and she's only 11. So we might, you never know. We'll have to see how that plays out. But yes, we're heading to Gainesville for the day to take Jake up to become a gator. It is a sad, sad day. Happy but sad, you guys know. There's a look at temperatures. Tomorrow, low to mid-90s. The heat continues. Early next week, if we're lucky, things might get back to normal. But otherwise, tomorrow, definitely higher rain chances than what we'll typically see. And then on Saturday, about the same, maybe a little drier. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, not much. We're going 10, maybe 20% coverage. All right, in the tropics, again, if you go back and look over the last 100 years, these are the named storms that formed. And the majority of them stay offshore. It's something I always want to bring up, because just because you have a lot of named storms doesn't mean there's a threat. So what are we looking at here? The new numbers will come out in a couple of minutes, but yesterday what was red is now orange. How many times have we been preaching that El Nino is going to minimize the hurricane overall numbers? Doesn't mean we're not going to see 1 or 2 form, doesn't mean that we won't eventually have a threat somewhere in the U.S. or in Florida, but it is a given that with El Nino, lots of shear and dry air limits the development of storms in the Caribbean. I was looking on socials today, and I was reading all these national media stories. Super El Nino, it's going to be horrible this winter. Look, I'm telling you, for Florida, the overwhelming majority of Florida will actually appreciate the fact that we have an El Nino. Why? Because we ain't going to be talking about a drought by the end of the fall and into the winter. We are going to have a lot of rain. Now, yes, might there be a few areas of stronger thunderstorms with a squall line? Yeah, like maybe 2 or 3 in the entire winter. Might there be a little more snow in the southeast? Possibly. But this scare tactics, run for your lives, Chicken Little, it's a super El Nino, all it means by definition is that instead of the water being 1 or 2 degrees above average, maybe it's 3 degrees above average. So yes, there will be impact. Yes, there will be some severe weather, as we often see in the wintertime. But this whole everybody's going to get annihilated because of a super El Nino is a bunch of nonsense. And as I said, El Nino in general keeps hurricane season quieter, not completely, but certainly quieter. And that's why what you're looking at right there now is a system that was read yesterday at 80% is now down to 60% because of that shear and that drier air. So forecast tonight. Skies will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow morning, we start right back in the upper 70s. For the beach tomorrow, nice day at the beach, maybe a scattered storm between 2 and 4, but there will not be many. Most of that coverage, if it does pop, will be between around 6 and 8 o'clock in the evening. Water temperature now, clear water, hanging in there in the upper 80s. Nice day out in the water. Northeast winds only 5 knots, seas a foot or less. Light chop on the bay. And there's the 7-day. 95 heat advisory possible tomorrow into Saturday. Rain chances 40 to 50%, probably down to 20 to 10% by the early part of next week. All right, so when we come back from our next break, we will be talking to our friends from Creative Loafing about the Best of the Bay competition. That's in 90 seconds as Dennis Phillips Live continues. And a break. All right. So
still live on Facebook, though.
We are, very good point. We are still live on all socials.
That's right.
And that's important to remember because I did have a guest here about a month ago who thought that we were done and we were not on broadcast, but said something that he didn't want to say. So I actually went back after the fact and deleted that broadcast on every social stream.
Oh, my God.
Because he just forgot. And he's a good guy. And I clearly was not clear enough to say we are still streaming. So how you guys doing out there? Everybody on Facebook? Oh, we got a lot of people here tonight. So here's what we're going to do. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, Jessica, Cindy, how are you? Nice to see you. Krista Rivers in the house. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come out. I'm going to introduce Lee and Ray, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Best of the Bay competition and the party.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, hey, Jonathan, switch over to so Lee and Ray can say hi to everybody.
What's up?
Hey, there they are.
How's
it going,
everybody
guys?
doing? We're on DPL.
You
this
are
is like
on
your
DPL.
second time, right?
Lee's a seasoned pro.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Ray for a long time. Ray is a super nice guy, and a lot of the fun events. Well, we're back in 10 seconds, so we'll talk about that coming up in a second. All right, we are back in. You notice we do everything here. We got the buttons, we got everything.
I love
All right,
it.
Back in 3, 2. Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. I'm standing. I'm not really sure why I'm standing. I am because we have a guest over here, and I was going to walk over in a second. But let's introduce our guests for tonight. We have Lee and we have Ray from Creative Loafing. Lee, you remember you were on the show, what, not long ago, right?
No, not long ago at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Ray, this is the first time for you.
First time on the air. I've been in the building. I've seen the magic happen.
Well, I met Ray, gosh, maybe it was the first year that I won Best of the Bay for a TV thing. I can't remember. It was a long, long time ago, but really, really great guys. And we worked with them with Brewfest, which I hear was an amazing time. I was back behind the table the entire time. You guys look like you had a good time.
You were killing it. It was good. I mean, all those people lined up to see you. You got to give the people what they want.
You had
do.
a line the whole time.
Yeah,
It never ended.
yeah, but they spelled my name wrong.
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, I have to take responsibility for that, but I swear it wasn't my fault.
Well, the woman who actually said she was responsible for, because what I did is there was a big sign that said Dennis Phillips with 2 N's. So I went and took a Sharpie and I X'd out the one end and I said, get it right, people, lock in. And so the woman who actually, I guess, did it came over later and she was all apologetic. I'm totally kidding. A guy who spells his name with one N, you'd think I haven't dealt with it my entire life. But seriously, guys, that was a great event. But now we're looking ahead to Best of the Bay. So tell the folks a little bit about Best of the Bay, and I'm going to kind of show some of the video. And we'll actually scroll through the website as well so we can kind of show what folks can look forward to, because voting is still going on, correct?
Yes.
Go for it, Lee.
Voting is still going on all the way through August 30th. So you have from now until August 30th to vote once per day. You can vote once per day in each category. So go vote for all your friends. You can find new places to go eat and drink, and new concerts that happen in the Tampa Bay area. You can find like all the arts are on there. It is an extent. We have over 500 categories.
It's a massive contest.
Massive.
You know,
Crazy. I don't know how you guys put all, I mean, there's so many people that are involved in this here. And speaking of people, we're on the people page.
Yes.
And I am going to throw this because my coworker, Sean Daly, is up for lots of things.
Yep.
My fellow meteorologist, Allie Blake, is also up for Best TV Host News Person. So again, what you do, guys, if you want to vote, I'll go back again. I'll scroll back. You go to your main area, and they've got all these categories, right? You've got arts, beauty, drink, entertainment, food. Who comes up with these lists?
a lot of it is like traditional, we've had them, but we add and subtract categories every year to much controversy. You know, you never know who you're gonna kind of set off. And that kind of speaks to how people see themselves in the community. They're really proud of what they bring to town. We're happy to have the best magician, you know, on there perennially now. And you just learn about the things that people are really passionate about, right? People are passionate about you, but they have their own thing too. Here's the party.
Yep.
Right here. That's another place where you can see Dennis. You talking about the storms, it being pushed to October 7th this year, the party. I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, will kind of help us out. We had a couple of years where it was crazy. We were impacted by the storms, and so were our readers, and it was a bittersweet thing to be together, but everybody comes back together to celebrate each other, and here we are, October 7th, right?
It's a different venue this year, right? It used to be at the Hard Rock.
Yes, the Hard Rock is now expanding their non-smoking casino area, which we're super excited about. So we have decided to move it back to St. Pete in the Coliseum. And if you've never been to the Coliseum before, it is an adorable venue. It's right downtown in the heart of St. Pete. So as soon as you're done with our party, you can go into downtown St. Pete and continue the night on. That's
right. It's a historic venue. It's cool to be kind of back in St. Pete. We used to be at the Mahaffey Theater. We love our St. Pete readers. We love our Pinellas readers. I mean, we get over to Safety Harbor whenever we can, and it's just a cool opportunity to do that. We're grateful to the Hard Rock for continuing to welcome us every year, and yeah, it's under renovation, so we can't be there, and we're super excited to be at the Coliseum. I mean, it's an old place, and that is a cool city.
And the Hard Rock is still involved, though, too. They are presenting sponsor this year, so we're still Hard Rock strong with them.
And you guys know how to throw a party, because the first year I went, I had to come back for the 11 o'clock news. That was a big mistake on my part. I mean, you don't want to have to go back for the 11. It was a blast. So let's go back to the different categories here.
Yeah, I want to see you vote. I want to see you vote for yourself.
So, well, here, I don't think I'm signed in. I don't think I'm logged in. But I will tell you, if you want to vote, folks, and you, like I said, you can go on. There's so many different things. If you go on People, by the way, one of our directors, Derek, is up for Best Podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's up for best podcast. So if you want like best person to follow on Instagram, on TikTok, best TV news person, there's all these people. Like I said, Allie's there, a lot of other great folks across the area, and Sean Daly's there, and I'm right here. So you vote whoever you think is the best news person, but I can't. Like I said, I'm not logged in, so I can't do it. But that's okay. But it's a really fun list, and when you release this. And it comes. When does the article come out, or when do they release the results?
It's usually it's the Wednesday before the last Thursday in September. Although this year we're going to push it a week. So we release the issue on the night of the party, and then everybody picks it up that week. This issue's like this thick. It feels like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's the one that you kind of keep on your coffee table or around, because when you need to go find Italian or all these random things, you can find it in there, and it's like this yearbook and celebration of everything that happened this year. So on top of the readers' picks, there's the critics' picks in there. We talk about all the things that we love that happened, that only happened that year. I don't know, I've grown to love it so much. I've been in the paper for like 16 years. I used to be like, what a huge contest. How does anybody do this? It's hard. But you see the people and how proud they are of the Best of the Bay awards that they've earned, because it is really hard to win one. It's hard to keep your business open. It's hard to keep your life in order.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so cool to see people happy. And that's what this night is about, you know?
And so how long can they vote till? And again, tell people the website and where they go to vote.
Lee?
You can go to vote.cl.com. cltampa.com, and you have all the way up until midnight on August 30th to vote. And you can vote once per day, so just set a little reminder in your phone, go find all your favorites through there, make sure you're showing them some love, because at the party, that's one of my favorite things, is to watch people find out, because the winners don't get revealed until they go to the party, until they're at the party and they find out when they receive their award. And if you sit at that awards desk for any amount of time, it is the most heartwarming, most wholesome serotonin boost you can have, because everybody, I've seen like 16 of my girlfriends that have a makeup business just squeal at the same time when they all found out they were winners. Like it's just the culmination of all of your hard work that you and heart and soul that you pour into your business.
And if you look at what I'm doing right now, I am circling.
there he Yeah, I can't quite read it on there, but I'm guessing that says Dennis Phillips, and we got it with one N.
Yes,
I think in there.
The first couple of years it did have two. And then there's Sean Daly, so Sean's on here as well. And like I said, Allie was on the top as well. And there's also best to vote for, best on Instagram. There's every possible category you could possibly imagine. And lastly, guys, where do people pick up this? Where do they pick up the issue?
Well, every week we have distribution points all across the Bay Area. So there's red boxes. Some of them are kind of cleaned up, thanks to Ted, our distribution guy. Some of them are classic, vintage, just beat up boxes, but they're all over there. But it's always going to be on cltampabay.com as well. You can vote there right now. A little secret, we actually released the food and drink winners on the morning of the party, before the party, so you can start to kind of scroll through that. But yeah, pick it up on the street, keep it around your house, visit the website, and then let us know what you think the readers got right and what they got wrong, and we'll do it again next year, God willing,
Awesome. All right, guys. Lee, Ray, thank you so much for stopping by. Again, hope to see you in early October. Hopefully weather's permitting. Hopefully I'm somewhere on that list. And
we got to get a live, a live segment with all the graphics at Best of the Bay.
Yeah, I think we were planning. We're working on that.
Okay.
And we're also working on having DPL there as well.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
That would be sick.
I think it would work. I really do. So we're working on that. All right, guys, I got to hit a break. Back in 90 seconds as DPL continues.
Nice.
Awesome.
Ah, that was so much fun.
So
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's always so much fun coming on.
David wants to know who all is involved in downtown. So I wish there was an easier way to repeat your vote from day to day. Well, I think there is. You just pretty much, once you're logged in, right?
Yeah,
You log in. It is like, you got to do it. I think that's one thing I really realized over the years. It's like, you have to go over there and you have to get people to vote for you to win these things. It's hard. Can we take an Aussie real quick?
Yeah.
Do we have time?
Yeah, we do. We got
Okay. What do we got?
50 seconds.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Did you call it an Aussie?
It's an Aussie because it's
great.
us in it.
That's awesome.
I should probably take a vertical too. One more.
Yeah, nowadays everything's got to be vertical.
Do it for the gram.
Oh, wait, guys. All right, squeeze in then. Oh, my wife's calling. Awesome.
Guys, thank you as
you
always.
so
Hopefully we will see you on DPL in August.
All right.
Oh,
All
definitely.
right, see you, Ray. Thanks again.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Dennis.
it, guys.
See ya. She's calling.
Okay,
Hey.
back in 20 seconds, guys.
Is everything okay?
And you can also just Google Best of the Bay Creative Loafing, and it'll show up, and you just click on the links. That's kind of what I've done in the past as well. All right, you know what? I'm going to start with something different. Hold on. Hey doing, everybody. Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. I was just looking at something and see if this works. So check this out. This was 22 years ago today. A little bit to the right. That isn't what we were hoping for, obviously, because if this comes to fruition, if we're looking at a Cat 3 hurricane with winds of 120 moving in at around midnight, that's a high tide, midnight, in and around Tampa Bay, with a Cat 3 hurricane and a storm surge of about 12 to 14 feet. I'm not going to spin it any other way. If this happens, this will be something unlike we have ever seen. Now, EOC in Pinellas County has been saying that for a while, as is Hillsborough. And that's the thing about Charley. That was the original forecast. Even 6 hours before landfall, the NHC had a Cat 4 right on top of us. Mayor Pam Iorio was on the set with us talking about how we were going to rebuild after this storm hit, because it was literally 4 hours before landfall. And they tossed it to me, and I told her I thought it was going to miss us and stay down to the south. And her comment to me was, I like your forecast the best. And as you noticed, also I had the jacket on because Charley was the day when I started wearing these ridiculous suspenders. And then I'm getting a lot of people saying now, hey, what about the hoodie? That's kind of my generation now, and I get it. And the story behind the hoodie is just this studio is so flippin' cold that whenever I started doing DPL, I just started wearing the hoodie. But it kind of turned into a thing as well. So yeah, that was one. I will tell you, of all the storms, I've been here 35 years now, of all the storms that we've faced for a threat, I was most nervous about Charley. More so than Milton, more so than Helene, more so than Irma, more so than any of them. Literally 6 hours before a Cat 4 right in the mouth of Tampa Bay, that was the forecast. And you remember Don Gramez. Don Gramez was out there doing live stuff with Tim Jones, our photographer, and had the video. Matter of fact, let me show you real quick. I've got some of this video. Check this out. And I don't have much time. We got to hit a break. But this is video of Don Gramez at the Holiday Inn in Punta Gorda as the roof went off. And Tim Jones, our photographer, was filming this. So Don was live. They were right in the eye as that storm moved on shore. And anybody in Punta Gorda, Northport area knows just how much damage there was. It was devastating. And, you know, it's one of those things because we were missed by it for the most part, with the exception of Polk County. And Polk County had a ton of it. But, you know, it's very difficult. We kind of had survivor's guilt because, you know, when I realized it was going to miss us, and I told the mayor and everything, you've got this sigh of relief. But then you think about 10 seconds later, you're like, oh, no, but that means somebody else is going to get hit. And it was areas to the south of Punta Gorda. Got to hit another break. Last one. Back in 90 seconds as DPL continues. Okay. Yeah, we will talk a little bit more on the flip side. But yeah, how about that video, right? That was, I looked at that.
2 days that the numbers are beginning to point out that really could happen. Again, it's still a day away.
Look at the
We've seen a tropical system in 3 hours completely change. So we're not giving up hope for a change. But what I am telling you is tomorrow morning when you wake up and see the numbers aren't going to be much different than this one right here, the time has come to act. Here's a close-up version, and it's even scarier. Again, right now, 22.2 north, 82.4 west, winds of 105 miles an hour. It has not strengthened, and it's not going to strengthen when it's moving over that island. However, the forward speed has slowed down again. Could be a mixed blessing, because what it will do is it will give us a...
Anyway, crazy times, right? Let's see what's going on quickly right now. Let's look at the new update from the Hurricane Center. I will show you, and I'll literally only have about 45 seconds when we come back out of the break. Here's the new one. It's at 8 o'clock. Now down to 40, now down to 40. So yeah, even lower. So let's show that real quick too. Okay, here, we'll do this coming back out. All right, back in 5, 4. All right, 8 o'clock numbers came back from the Hurricane Center. And as you see, we still have areas of orange, and the chances of development are even lower, now down to 40%. So this is doing exactly what we said was going to happen. It's running into shear, it's running into unfavorable conditions, and neither of these are going to pose a threat to the United States. Doesn't mean the season's over. We are far from over. To quote Frank Stallone, I think he sang that song back in the 80s. Far from over? I think so. Music. 70s and 80s music trivia. That's my thing. But yeah, El Nino doing its thing. And I'll say this one more time, guys. You're going to see... 3 times today I saw the stories about El Nino. Super El Nino. Run for your lives. It's going to be horrible. What does it mean for us? We're going to get more rain than usual, which we need. There might be a few areas of severe weather when a squall line comes through. Happens a lot in the wintertime. And that's about it. So don't let the fear of doomsday bother you, because it's just not the case, not for Florida at least. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to continue on socials for a few minutes. Have a great night, and we'll see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. All right, we are on a break. We hit it. Dave, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so let's see. What else do we got? Let's go ahead and go through our maps since we haven't really done that yet today. All right, we will start with rainfall potential. Not a lot. You can see, I mean, we're kind of in a dry stretch right now. There are the updated numbers that we talked about for our 7-day right here. By the way, I'm going to go watch the Field of Dreams baseball game because that looks fun. Oh, Adam asked for the new drought index. You know what, Adam, good call. That is a good call. I am going to call that up. Hold on, let me search for that map. It's up here somewhere. Really good call. All right, here it is. All right, there is the new drought index map. Doesn't look much different than it did before. Citrus no longer in a drought. Northern Hernando no longer in a drought. Western Pasco, northern and southern Pinellas, western Hillsborough, southern Hillsborough, western Manatee, Hardy, and DeSoto still in an extreme drought. I would not expect this is going to change much. Yeah, I think Doomsday is going to be a great movie, too. I hope so, James, because Spider-Man was awesome. I really liked Spider-Man. I saw it twice. I liked it better the second time than the first, actually. I do not have the previous one, but it doesn't look much different, Charlotte. It looks about the same. So, again, I would not expect to see much of a change when these drought numbers. I just don't. Until we get into the second half of fall, or if we were to get a tropical storm or a hurricane that comes to the area. And guys, again, just because it is an El Nino year, yes, there will be fewer storms. We're clearly seeing that. But that doesn't mean we won't have something developing closer to home. That doesn't mean storms can't form. There will just be fewer opportunities. And if they can find the little spot, the little sweet spot to avoid maybe intense shear or drier air, you're still good. Look, I still believe in September and October there will be threats to Florida and the southeastern U.S. I absolutely think there will be. You know, where? Who knows? But just because it is below average doesn't mean it's zero. All right, so let's go back to our maps quickly, and then I'm going to go watch Field of Dreams. Not the movie, the baseball game, because the Twins are taking on the Phillies in a cornfield today in Iowa, which is pretty awesome. All right, so there's a look, and the Rays are back in town tomorrow after a 9-0 road trip. 9-0. They swept 3 series: Colorado, Seattle, and the A's. All right, so there's a look at, let's go ahead and look at, there's rain chances on Friday night. Pretty solid. This Friday at 8 o'clock. It's actually not bad. All right, here's Saturday, 2 o'clock, Saturday, 8 o'clock, not as much, more across the panhandle. All right, here's Sunday, 8 o'clock, much, much drier, much drier. Here's Monday, 8 o'clock, much drier. Tuesday, 8 o'clock, not a lot. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, still not much. We are in a dry stretch, guys. Thursday, 8 o'clock, not a lot. So yeah, look for the, we finally start to maybe pick up a little bit by next weekend. So yeah, we're not looking great for rain. There are the latest spaghetti models. Exactly what we were showing you yesterday. This thing kind of fizzles out. 1 or 2 develop this a little bit more, but there's still a couple that keep it together enough that it still would more likely curve right here, but the one up top, the one in the northern one, that's the one, if anyone needs to be watched, and I think even needs to be watched is a little strong, but if anything were to do something, it would probably be that one. It just seems pretty darn unlikely. I mean, we can look at the Euro probability of tropical development here. And there you see it out there. It looks pretty promising, right? There it is. And then as we go into next week, look what happens. It starts to hit that shear and unfavorable conditions, and it just starts to fizzle out. But there is more out there. Look, you got another wave coming off of Africa. You got another wave out there. But both of them show very little potential of development. And as you see here, yet again, all that dry air in the Caribbean through September 1st, all that dry air going on out there. So look, I mean, we're going to be, the season is not over, but it is absolutely going to be at a quieter year than it typically is. All right. Yes, Ryan, it could be. El Nino does sometimes play a role in lack of moisture that can come in from this area. So, all right, I'm going to go watch the Field of Dreams baseball game. We'll be back tomorrow night. No guests tomorrow night. WNBA is on, so it's just going to be us. It's going to be like an OG night. Thanks for watching. As always, thanks to the folks from Creative Loafing, Lee and Ray. Again, remember to vote. You can vote every day through the end of the month. You can vote for your favorite TV person, whether that's Sean or me or Allie or whoever else that's right there under TV host. And you see, like, but if I, you know, there you go. There it is. It's also on Instagram and TikTok too. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.